All right, today I got another radio antenna test comparison. Stick with me. All right, today I'm gonna be using this UV 5G Plus GMRS radio. I'm gonna be using the stock antenna that came on the radio, and I'm gonna be comparing that to this cheap Yagi build I got off Amazon. This is a folding Yagi, 3-element. We're gonna see how much, if any, distance this antenna will give me over the stock antenna. All right, so let's first talk about this Yagi antenna. So this is just the cheapest folding Yagi I could find on Amazon. I probably hurt it a little bit by painting it. I don't know if that affects anything, but basically you can just pull these elements out like this, like that, and it opens up. It is a directional antenna, meaning you have to know the general direction as precise as possible of the repeater or the person that you're trying to reach and aim it at that. All right, so we're going to be using that. I painted it. I've added the connector cable and a little bit more cable to give me a little bit more distance. All right, so that's a 3-element antenna. All right, there we go. That's what we're working with. All right, now for the stock antenna. This is just the whip antenna that came with this radio. This is a GMRS only radio. It'll listen to FM. It won't transmit on it, but you can't do any hand bands or anything like that. I guess if it was unlockable, you could, I don't know, but this one only does GMRS. And it's not unlocked or anything like that. So let's check out and see with this antenna how well I hit this repeater. I'm going to be using the same repeater for every test. So let's check it out. WSKA 662 test. I hit the repeater with the stock antenna. Now this antenna, I have to go ahead and say, I've pushed this one to a lot more distances when it comes to hitting that repeater than people will tell you. So we'll see. All right, before we get started with this antenna, a couple things. Most repeaters, since I'm using a repeater today, are vertically polarized, meaning up and down. So you don't want to turn these like this. You want to turn them sideways like this. And you need to aim them the best you can in the direction of the repeater. So you need to know where that repeater is, and you want to be as precise as possible. I happen to know that that way is the repeater. So we're going to give it a shot, all right? WSKA 662 test. All right, if you heard that, I hit the repeater again. It was clear, so it works. It worked pretty well. And let's move on with the testing. All right, at this particular location, repeater book says I'm 21.6 miles from that location, from the repeater that I'm going to use. So let's give it a go. WSKA 662 testing. Okay, I hit it with this antenna. All right, so the repeater is that direction. Let's give it a try with this Yagi. WSKA 662 testing. I hit it. Seemed a little clearer too. So let's keep testing. So that's 26 miles. I always have really good. WSK 572 radio check. WSKA 662, radio check. All right, we're going to give it another try. This time I'm 28.3 miles away, but that might have just answered our question. That right there.
Trying again, WRX 201, WSTD 833, caller.
Roger, I was just trying to get some information down for that channel 22 simplex. Looks like it's 462.7250. I say again, 462.7250, Jimmy.
Copy that. I got it. Thanks so much.
It's definitely checking in. That's not me. I just stumbled into a conversation. Let's give it a South Carolina.
You're going to be on that simplex 730. I'll try to talk at you there.
I am not in South Carolina. I'm up at about 4,000 feet of elevation, with some rises in between me and the repeater, but not a whole lot.
I'm somewhat new.
Hey, that's okay. We're all new. So we're doing a simplex event next send out Saturday at 7:30. It's going to be on channel 22. That's a non-repeater channel. And if you're ready to copy, it should be 462.7250. 462.7.
He's saying that's not a repeater channel, but I got it on the repeater channel, so bust out the Yagi here and see what happens.
Out to that upstate GMRS, and we've got a bunch of repeater pros out there that can better advise you than I.
Clearly works. It's a lot clearer with this Yagi too.
Having that conversation at the
Pointing in the right direction.
And I'm not on Facebook, so sometimes I miss things that are there. Has that been moved or canceled or postponed?
Well, so I can't say for certainty. I'm just kind of getting back into that myself. WRTS 814, if you've got a pencil copy of WRTS 814, Matthew, and also Mr. Chris, who I think listening to our conversation right now are like authorities on this now.
Give it just a second. I may try a radio check.
If you're listening, please jump in, sir.
Yeah, I think it's been postponed. Hold on, I'm looking it up now.
When you go to simplex, you can call any station because obviously you don't know who's hearing you and who's not, if that helps.
Turned it pretty good. 28.3 miles away.
So that'll be a fun experience.
Let's give it a go.
They say height is Mike. Chris is looking up some stuff, so depending upon, I'm sitting at about 780 feet elevation, so the higher you are, the more distance you typically get, less obstruction.
I have a lot of trees in my neighborhood, which is a little bit of a problem, but I've got some space I can have. It's on a hill that's clear where I could put that thing. So right now I tested it out. It works locally. It works in my backyard with two very short antennas. So that's a start. I just got to find an ID generator next.
Be careful. I did an article on upstate on batteries. The lithium-ion batteries are awesome batteries. The downside is if you try to charge them when it's...
You think I should try to break into this conversation just enough to do a radio check? Think that'd be rude? What do you guys think? WSKA 662 radio check.
Understood. Typically, I'm not able to hit this ticket repeater sitting in my driveway, so I must have done something I rearranged my antennas on the car, so that's good. I'm hearing you guys. Everything's clear. Fellow I didn't catch the call sign, but in Casters, that was extremely clear, so good to hear from you.
Likewise, WRX 201 for IB. That's the phone. I think Chris is still looking up some info, so stand by.
All right, guys, I'm back out here testing again. Repeater book says I'm 34.1 miles away. So let's give it a go. GMRS with a stock antenna. WSKA 662 testing. 34.1 miles. I definitely hit the repeater, at least with the tone. I don't know about the voice. Let's try the Yagi. All right, guys, the repeater should be roughly that direction. Let's give it a go. WSKA 662 radio check. Hit it. I'm surprised I didn't get a call back on that. This repeater's had a lot of traffic on it due to a ice storm coming in here the last few days. So it's been constantly monitored almost for the last, oh, I don't know, 36 hours, 72 hours, at least, at the very least. So as far as elevation goes in terrain, I'm in rolling hills. I don't have a major elevation gain that I've had the last few tests where I've been up in the mountains, but it's also, you know, I'm not sure exactly, you know, how many ridges may be in between me and the repeater, but I mean, you know, it's not a ton, but it's also possible. I don't have, you know, there's plenty of trees, there is, you know, towns, all kinds of things between here and there that could hinder the signal, and it's still hitting. I'll try a radio check one more time just to be on the safe side. WSKA 662 radio check. It's kerchunking the repeater. But it's also the time of day there might not be a whole lot of people listening to the repeater right now. Alright, so what do y'all think? 34.1 miles? Should I test some more? Should I go further? Alright guys, 37 miles away. We are down in a little bit of a hole compared to where we were. These are just rolling hills. I've probably dropped 300 feet in elevation, but a few more miles away. 37 miles, let's give it a go. WSKA 662 radio check. Uh-oh. All right, one more time. WSKA 662 radio check. I'm not hitting it. I'm not hitting it. Let's bust out the Yagi. All right, I should have it pointing in the right direction for the repeater. Let's test it. WSKA 662 radio check. Nothing. Move over just a hair. WSKA 662 radio check. I'll pull out repeater book real quick, just do a quick check. Not repeater book, but my app that I'm using. A little bit more toward that way. Let's give that a go. WSKA 662 video check. Nope. I'm not getting anything on either one. It's a complete failure. No chunks. No radio checks. 37 miles on the dot. Like I said, I've probably dropped 300 feet in elevation on the back side here of this ridge. And nothing. That's interesting. 34.1 miles, I was getting the chunks. Now I'm not. So, I think I should end it here. Or try a different place and area. Let's try something else. Alright guys. Last time I was west of the repeater. This time I'm north of it. I'm 35.1 miles north of it, and I've gained about 1,000 feet of elevation. And there is some higher elevation between me and the repeater. We're gonna check it out, see what happens, and see if we can get a response. WSKA 662 testing. Nothing. I didn't get anything that time. Try one more time. WSKA 662 testing. Nope. Alright, let's move to the Yagi. Alright, so we got the Yagi. Should be that direction for the repeater. Let's give it a go. WSKA 662 testing. Nope. WSKA 662 testing. I'm getting nothing. That's interesting, because we know that it'll go further than that in flatter ground. But the second you put any kind of terrain in between you, if the repeater's here and you put any terrain there, the more terrain distance. I mean, it's just simple sense. It makes sense. It's simple radio logic. The more you do that, you're going to end up not having a signal. But you know, you can do it up to a distance. In the 20-ish mile range, it does pretty good. As soon as you get up into the 30s, you're done with this radio and this antenna combo. Now, if I had higher wattage, this is supposed to be a 5-watt radio. If I had higher wattage, or maybe a higher priced, higher end Yagi, something built a little better, maybe. But this one ain't cutting it. Not for this distance. What I find interesting is this, the fact that either I get service on both, or I get service on, or I signal on both, or I get signal on neither. Now, to find signal, there's a couple times there where I don't think I could have, you know, accurately communicated very well with that antenna, but I could with this one. It was definitely clearer. But so far I haven't hit that point where that antenna has stopped working like at all, and this one is working. Now, granted, this thing don't weigh 5 or 6 ounces, I don't think. So you're not really carrying a whole lot of weight, maybe a little bit of size. I mean, this thing's probably 16 inches long, folded down about 4 inches across. You're not really carrying much extra with you. One thing about this is if I didn't have this all taped up, it comes with a U-bolt, or you could improvise one if you wanted to, and you could aim this at the direction you want it to go and strap it down to something, bolt it down to something, and point it and hold it, make it steady, and that would be handy for more of a, you know, base camp type setup. But, you know, kind of interested in the results of this, or I'm kind of intrigued by the results of this. Kind of figures with the mountains behind me here, but I thought I'd get to a point where there'd be a little bit of distance where that antenna stopped working and this one still did, but that's just not what I'm seeing. All right, guys, if you like these videos, let me know. I plan on doing more communication videos, more GMRS, more ham, things like that, as well as my normal stuff and some new stuff. But if you're stuck with me this far, thank you, and y'all have a good one.